a little bit early. I can't see actually. Let me see. I've got messages that want to come through though. So we might do the meditation or channeling first. Because I have messages that want to come through. They want to share a message with whoever. I don't know. So we have company. They want to talk. We can see what they say. I don't know. So maybe I'll do the live messages meditation first and see what comes through. All benevolent, loving energy with us. Wow. Angels and whatever. So Source wants to share. And we can see what comes through, what message, what message guidance. I've asked always, obviously, it's always for upliftment, always for the highest and greatest good, to help, guide. It's always from benevolence, from light, from love, kindness, and compassion. Those are my, So the messages, I don't know what they want to share, we can find out. So I'm just going to give it a minute or so people can join, because I did say 7. Oh, it is 7 now, so give it a minute. And seeing they're keen to get going, I thought I'll meditate, do the meditation and let the messages come through first, and then we can have a chat. Because I've had some interesting things on my mind as well. I haven't dug too deep to ask, but there are questions that are there, I know. They'll get answered. If I really seek answer to something, I'll get it. That's for sure. But it's not like, oh my gosh, I really need to know. You kind of know. It's just one question anyway. So, we have company that wants to talk. And let's see what messages, what they want to share with humanity. I don't know. Let me just see now. I don't know. Hang on a second. I just want to share this. If you've got anybody, you're welcome to share if you want quickly. I think that was it actually. Alright, hi lovely, hi, hello everybody, hi. Yes, we're being hammered with these energies, aren't they? Wow. And I actually asked just now, because I noticed there's a pressure in the ear. So now if you go flying, when you fly sometimes you get that altitude, if you like flying like me, pressure. So I noticed there's pressure around in the ear, so I asked my inner being or soul, source today. And I was told it's from within. So it's not what we're thinking the pressure we're feeling from the outside. It's from within. It's the energy inside us that's changing. So the energy inside us is recalibrating or changing, and this is why we're feeling that pressure in the ears. I thought, oh, that was interesting. I didn't expect that answer. So that's what I was told. Yes, I know there's a lot going on within our bodies. We know that. We're having a big, shift happening in the physical vessel. And I shared on my TikTok page the latest crop circle, which appeared in England yesterday. Now I know because I've had meditations and I've been shown that, the bottom chakras have been worked and as I said in my last life, are completely cleared out. But I saw the bottom too. So they're basically no longer there anymore on mine. This is where we're going. We're going to get more here. But this person said, looking at that for some reason, I don't know, I haven't asked, that looking at that crop circle, she said that's what she got was that those 3 circles was our the lower 3 chakras being recalibrated. And I thought, well, that makes bloody sense, because they definitely are. They are, yeah. Yeah. No, but this is like pressure. This is like altitude pressure. Yes, the ringing is you adjusting, your frequency changing. You'll get that. Okay, so let me just get back into into meditation and see what messages want to come through. They want to share. Okay, because that was, I don't know. Let me get that done with, and then we can chat. Okay, so let me just connect again. Excuse me, people. I just ignore you and get connected. Okay, see what they want to share. Hello everyone. I'm seeing the lower chakras. They get moved. All right. So the lower chakras have been cleaned out. That we know because I said today. Yeah, that's why the stomach, digestive, colon, stomach, yeah. All the dark dense energy we've stored there over a long time, many lifetimes, have been cleared. And this is for the purpose of our ascension, to be able to go into a higher frequency and vibration. We needed to let go of all this dark, dense energy we had held in those lower chakras. So they are being cleaned and recalibrated. And yes, we will not be needing them going forward. So I was right there. Which ones? I'm getting the lower 3, maybe. That we will not be needing them. 3. Okay, I'm getting the lower 3 chakras will not be needed for us, the humans, going forward in the ascension process. This is where we're going. Thank you. Yes, your frequencies and vibrations are rising. And your body's, your energy, which is your being, your inner being, your source, as your frequency and vibration rises, because your energy, your source is in your body. It's you. That's your eternal. That is you, the energy. So as your energy and vibration rises, and this is why you're feeling this in the body. You're getting tired, you're getting exhausted, you're having pains, your energy is being shifted and moved and recalibrated. So depending on you, where the blocks are, where you have stuck energy, this is where you're going to feel maybe a pain, a discomfort. So you can cleanse and clear that. How? Intention. Yeah, Qigong they say, but intention, because I did Qigong today. I'm asking, sorry. We will be, let me just ask about those. There are a lot more chakras available in higher dimensions and higher dimensional states above the crown. I'm trying to ask when are we going to be using them or not, and how many. I'm getting 6 or 7. I'm trying to decide which is which. I'm trying to get the right one. That we're going to, I don't know when they're going to be available. Let me see. Now. So we have a lot more. We are obviously our energy and chakras we're going to be using are going to be. We're not needing these lower ones anymore, which was some more survival. They will not affect the physical vessel, the changes in this, the not using of those. Nope, okay. Alright. Just energy. Your guidance will be stronger. You will be led more by your intuition. Peace, yeah, we know. Peace, yeah. Oneness, yeah. The light will guide us. We have nothing to fear. All's well. The light is clearing the path. We are very loved. And see the light going before and it's clearing, just cleaning up. And the light is rising on the planet. Wow. And this is the disturbance that we're seeing. It's just the light rising. It's clearing the darkness. It's clearing the... That's good. I don't think it's going to be long. This change. But we will feel lighter. And all this darker, denser energy being cleared from us. So now I have the angels. There's absolutely nothing to fear. Very strong presence because of the increase of the light. A very strong angelic presence on the planet, and it's growing. And the strength is growing. It's within us. We're remembering our light. We're gaining our strength and our light. We're standing more in our light and our power. And this clearing of the lower chakra will help a lot. All those, heavy emotions that really people have been dragging around, the darkest, heaviest emotions, will be released. Will be cleared out. And everything will go back. So it's just part of the process. And your stomach and digestive system will go back to normal. It will settle. It's just the change and adjustment now. That's good to know. And they just let me know not to worry. The light is rising on the planet. And we are doing a good job. And that you are loved and everything's fine. There we are, basically. Hello. And there we are. That was interesting. The stomach, that's a relief because boy, have I been having fun with that. Oh, and I'm not the only one. Digestive issues. Wow. Hello. So that'd be good. Oh, well, no wonder why. Depends, I suppose, how much clearing people have, to let go of. Well, there's a lot of all that red energy, all that dark, dense energy is held there. The base is all like kind of, the nastiest. The dark, the heavy, yeah. So that's a good thing. But that's interesting. 3. Anyway, I can't remember what I said because I'll have to go back and look at my own videos. When you're in those things, it just comes out. I cannot remember what I'm saying. Yeah, no, even my daughter said, yeah, and I thought she had eaten something. She said she had upset stomach, and I was like, oh, shame. I didn't click because mine's been bugging me for a while. Yeah, mine's been ishy, but I've had issues. I just wrote it off. It was mine, and no, it seems to be a common thing, actually. And then, as I said, I saw that stuff coming out of my lower chakras. It was like, wow, massive. I mean, everything. It was like lifetimes it was being cleared, and I was seeing it coming out. I was like, oh my gosh. So I knew they were clearing it, but I just didn't associate, the physical problems with the stomach to that. But naturally, it's energy. There we are. That's what they say. Most of these cancer was aggression, anger, held. Anger in the stomach cancers and all those things. That's the reddest. Those are the darkest, heaviest energies are in these lower chakras. So we're not going to be needing them going forward, really. Now we're going to be using more here. So 7, if I think I'm right. First it's 6, 7, 7, then I'm whatever. So we'll see. I don't even. It's not something I kind of go into or know much about. I just go, you know, as it comes and what I'm told. Yeah, interesting. Hey, very interesting. And interesting, when I was sitting in meditation earlier and I asked them about my ears, because I felt that pressure, like when you fly sometimes, like an altitude adjustment. And they said it's the energy inside that's you know, changing at the moment, it's adjusting. So this is why we're feeling. So the body, if it's changing inside, it's going to, you know, you're going to feel the difference on the outside, aren't you? Because it's going to change, same as you flying. But that is then the outside, you know, whatever, it's a pressure, yeah. That was interesting. Very interesting. Yeah. Yeah, no, I love it. So sorry if I didn't manage to see any of your questions. Anyone got any questions? Hello, lovely. Please ask anything you want to know. You know what's going on. We've got energies coming in the planet, you can tell by the weather. Kind of a mini solar storm, strong winds. But also because of the cycle we're in, as is, you know, this is this period until sort of autumn, a lot of, like we're going to see changes, big shifts going on within inside us. Expect to see the same on Earth as within, so without, same thing. So expect to see big rumblings, on, you know, with the planet. So weather and seismic, you know, obviously many things. We'll have to wait and see, which many of us have had many visions. See when and what. I don't know. I don't really follow. I don't really take part. Anybody got any other ones? Let me see. Anyone who got any questions? Oh my gosh, they're right down there. I can't even see you. You just start your meditation. It'll come. Everyone's different. There's not one fits all, really. So you start your transcendental meditation. You connect, and you'll see what comes up. You know, it changes depending on you and your level of consciousness and what you need to see. And some people don't. They just have their higher self. Some people, lots of guys, they refer you. It just, there's not one. You know, everyone's going to have the same. You don't need them sometimes. Some people don't. So it all depends on you, what you're wanting, what you're seeking, what you're needing to know. I don't know. This is not a fortune teller. This is why we all got to get connected. It's not looking, you got to learn to do this. Anybody and everyone can do this. Transcendental meditation. Sit in meditation. Quiet in the mind. Get in, transcend the mind. Practice. And it will all be given to you. Seek. If you seek, ask for that. You can't stop this. You speak to your, what you call your inner being, your soul, which is your energy inside and consciousness. And you intend to now consciously raise frequency, vibration, dimension, or consciousness. The journey will start for you. Okay. You will be just taken through it, and always trust what comes from within. Always. You never need to ask any questions on the outside, really. You never. Anything. Because you ask, set your intent, ask, and you will be shown whatever you want to see and know, you know. Especially if you're really seeking answers or something. You know what I found interesting? I listened to Abraham Hicks and Cryon, and they were both saying, now you can also go, and your consciousness can go anywhere, right? So you can see, travel, go anywhere in any space, time, or anything. So what I did once, wanted to see what it was like being born. So I dropped into the womb, very interesting, and went through that whole gestation process to watch and then come out. Oh boy, we're going to change how people give birth. Oh, it's not pleasant for a baby whatsoever. Really a bad idea. So I had some ideas on what they should be doing for when they have birth now. Funny enough, because it's not a pleasant experience for a baby to be born. Really not at all. Very traumatic, actually. Anyway, it's because you're all nice and warm inside, and you've got the frequency resonance and the... Try do it. It's interesting. You drop into a birth. Drop into the womb before birth. Because you can take your consciousness anywhere and drop into a baby, whatever. You know, and there we are. And then go through that whole process. Wow. It's not fun. And then you come out. All of a sudden, you're out of this warm womb. Okay, you get pushed. And then you come out into this bright light. Because in theatre, normally everyone's having birth. Into this bright light. It's flipping cold. Because you're in this warm body. Pop out there. It's cold. Wet. Everyone's around. Noise, people, lights. It's a big shock to the system. You know? Poor thing. So what they need to do is have these natural births in You know, have these big pools or whatever they want to do, spa, jacuzzi, whatever. They have a birth in a bloody warm water, frequency. You can actually, like they do with whales and things, put frequency in the water. That will, and I was told that would help a lot. So a certain frequency when the woman's giving birth, it will make a natural birth. In warm water, the baby comes out. It's in warmth, and it's in very calming, a good frequency for both, and then the baby can lie on the thing. It was horrible coming out of a bloody womb, let me tell you, and being born as a baby. It sucks. But the soul, now they will tell you the actual essence, your energy, your being, only enters a body on breath, on the first breath. Now, Cryon says that, and Abraham Hicks says that. Now, the soul does not enter the body before in the fetus. What's the point? You can if you want to, but I mean, there's not much point. So on birth, the first breath, when they smack the baby, takes it, that's when the soul enters. It's energy, remember. And you are only energy and consciousness. That's actually what exists. So that's energy. When the baby takes its first breath, it sucks in that energy, whatever. That's, you don't see it. Yeah, it's very interesting. So I thought about this, right? They both say the soul only enters the body on first breath. And we didn't know this beforehand. And they're reliable channels. You can put your money on them. So I was like, okay, well, I absolutely take that for, truth. And then I thought about this because I don't have anybody. And then when you die, now I don't know if you've ever been with someone when they die, where they call it the death rattle. When that person's, now this is interesting because when someone's like, stops breathing and all that kind of nonsense, there's no, Now, I was doing Qigong. And the different sounds for Qigong, for the liver, the spleen, whatever, and I did some just now. When you're going through a big change like this, like now, energy, problems, and pain, I shared on my page many times already. There's a very good woman on YouTube that's got some great Qigong. There's one called Purge and Tonify. Now that I do, that helps when you've got pain, stuck energy, blocks, especially when you're going through these things. It's great. So I did one just now. And that's what made me think, because I walk, and I often do that sometimes. On my walk, I'll make the different sounds. You breathe in with the belly, and then you go, there's a sound for the liver, for the heart, and everything. Now, the heart is, it's H-A-A-A, the sound, like a ha, right? Ha. Now, if you have been with someone when they actually die, that they call it the death rattle. It's a very a weird sound. It's like when that energy is, all that air comes out. So when it's the energy leaving the body. Now that's what made me think, right? The sound of the heart. So if they say, right, the soul enters, or the consciousness, because we're only energy and consciousness. So the universal source energy, spark, whatever, you enter the body, the physical vessel, on birth when the baby breathes. So you then go in, right? Now where does it go into? The energy. The baby sucks that energy in. It's all around us. Chi. Life force energy. Think about it. They call Chi, right? So you're sucking that in. So our breathing helps. Now we're doing the Qigong to clear. You've got he, ha, all the different sounds for the different organs, heart. Now that's what made me think today. They like the heart. If you listen to the heart sound, ha. Now, my mother died, and I was holding her hand when she died. Yeah. Yes. Now, exactly, there we are. My mother died, and when she died, when that sound comes out, it's like no one's pushing on them. You see, if someone stops breathing and all that stuff, it's a very different thing. There's no noise, you try and get them to, that's it. But when that energy consciously leaves that body, it makes a noise. It's like, now where does it, it's what I'm saying, it's a massive, like the baby breathes in, right, like a big, the same thing when the person dies. It's like all of a sudden a surge of energy, and it makes a really loud noise as the air leaves the final, the breath, they call it the final breath. If you've heard that, you know what I'm talking about, and there's no coming back from that one, because the energy has all exited the body, right? Yeah, it's very interesting. Now I found this, and this is what made me think today. I'm walking along, doing my Tai Chi, and I went, and then I thought my mother dying, and I'm thinking on a higher scale, right? Heart. Now that energy, we all say from the heart center, the heart's got its own brain, it's energy. think when the heart stops beating, it's game over, right? So maybe exactly the breathe in, or who knows, if that energy goes to the heart, whatever. That it makes almost a heart sound on a very deep. I mean, like it's unsettling sound if you don't know what it sounds like when someone dies. It can be a bit of a shock to you, or depending on how you handle things. Yeah. But I'm talking about energy. So another thing is, I went through that whole process, right? Because I was so keen to know what it was like. So I had this death experienced my death, looked at my own body, saw my, the whole thing. So that was fascinating. And I can tell you what, when you actually dying, now this is interesting now, because now I've been through the experience and I'm putting all the pieces together. When you're dying, I actually described it when I finished the thing. I actually described it in a video so I don't forget things in detail. It was fascinating because you're going, now you're the person dying. You've had you see all sides, right? The energy sucked. It was like, how do I explain it? There's only about a second. It seems like maybe, I don't know, time doesn't, it's difficult to say because time is, kind of slows down and stops sometimes. But as you're dying, but then for a second, everything goes dark. Just for a split second, it's a bit scary. Then all of a sudden, it goes everything goes dark, and then the next minute you're out of the body, and you like, it's strange. So it's like for a second, everything goes like black. You go into this, looks like a tunnel. Now, what was shown to me, this is how I felt and what I saw it. It's the energy being sucked out the body. So this is that dark, it looks like, how do I explain it? Can you imagine when the baby breathes? So it's like a tornado. Imagine a tornado going in, the energy is going in, spiraling in, like a kundalini, right? But when you die, it's the other way around. So it's like a tornado. It's the energy being sucked out of the body. That's that dark tunnel. So as the person is dying, this is what you experience. It's fine just for that 1 second where it really gets dark. But you're not hassle because you're dying, you're not worried about it. You have actual peace. It's only that second and then you pop out. You're like, hey, okay. So now I'm putting all the pieces together. I'm thinking, that's interesting because listen to that last breath. It's like it's like massive pressure. It's like, where is that pressure coming to push all that energy or air out of the body? They say it's the lungs emptying, whatever. I don't buy that, but it just doesn't. But now you've been through the whole experience. You've died. You've seen yourself. You've come back. You've done this. You've been up the tunnel out. You've done the whole thing. It's only because I wanted to. So I've seen it all, shown it all, and it's an experience. Wow, it's an incredible experience. So this is what made me think. I'm thinking, wow, now that's interesting. The heart stops. You're a goner. Interesting, eh? So yeah. Now you know what it feels like. As the energy leaves body, it forms like a tornado. Poof! The sound when the person's dying. Everything. It's absolutely fascinating. And there we are. Boom! Next minute you're out and you're looking at your body. And you're like, I'm not dead. And then you look at your body and you're thinking, hang on a second. That does not look good. That does not look like... Ew. And then that's the weirdest thing, is you look at your body and you realize the body's dead, but you're not. And you're thinking, and that is the strangest thing, is to realize you feel like your complete self, you're thinking and everything else as if you're in the body, but the body's lying there and the body's like deceased and looking very, not, if you know what a dead body looks like. And you're like, but hey, I'm here. This is cool. It's a flippin' strange experience. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is what that they call the death rattle. And that's what I was thinking. But I'm thinking it's the heart chakra. Because the heart stops, you die, right? And the sound is... It's a very... anyway. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It is a vacuum. I've been through it. It's like a tornado. It's like being an introverted tornado. The tornado is sucking the energy out the body this way when you're dying. When you're born, when the baby breathes in, it comes in into the body. It's just energy, but it's conscious. It's a life force energy. Chi all around us. So you notice how your frequency vibration comes up when you do some good breathing. Yeah, I know, yeah, you can smell. Nurses always said that. A few days before someone dies, they always knew. My daughter knew when my mom was going to die. My little one. She loved my mother, and she used to come into the room all the time, and she'd take her thing out, and my mom had lung cancer. She'd take it out and she'd put it on her face, and she'd look at her wrinkles. She was about 3, and she used to play with it, nebulizer, and and she never had a problem. About a few days before my mom died, my mother used to be a theatre sister and nurse, so she was no fool either. She knew, because she nursed enough dying people. She knew exactly what was going on. And my daughter got to the bedroom door one day, and she just would not go in. And the mom knew then. My mom said, no, don't bring her back. She knows. Don't upset her. She knows. So my mom knew that she knew that she was going to die, and my little one did not want to know. Didn't want to go in the room all of a sudden. Didn't want to go near Granny. Yeah, they do. My mom, Yeah, And the same with when you're actually going to die. It's like when you're actually about to die. Like it's the same thing came to me. I was lying in bed, and I just got told, right, it's time to go. That inner voice. It's like, the inner, like you say, your innate, your people that are like me, connected, right? You know when you're being talked to. That voice, that knowing comes to you. It's not you. Well, not your mind. And I was lying in bed, and I just got, right, it's time to go. And I was like, oh, all right. The party's over, And it's not like you're worried, because it's on a deep, from a soul level. And I was like, oh, all right, no problem, okay. There. And that's what I'm saying. People don't. When it comes to dying, actual dying, people don't realize it's no problem. Because that thing is like, you're going home, and you're just like, all right, no problem. And I was ready to go, I was like, okay, no problem. The only thing I was worried about was pain. It was a little bit painful. That's it. And then it was just dark for a second, and I said, okay, But then you tapped in, so you can ask for that. Okay, just comfort. And then, poof, it was over quickly. I said, help there. So I got to experience it, which was amazing. And then what, and then all this, and then go up there. And I went all over the show, because you can. Your consciousness, if you really want to do something or try it, you can go see what you like before you're born, drop back in, as I said, drop into a womb, see what it's like for a baby, come out. You can do anything. If you want and you focus on it, it's like focusing on talking to a tree or your consciousness is able to experience anything. You can talk to an ET, you can go in a womb, you can do whatever you want, people. Bloody awesome. It's amazing what comes out. Well, in this I did, but then I was fine. I jumped a timeline. Now, obviously, it was meant to in a different timeline, different parallel reality. That was my thing I was on. But because I started this, so this is what I was waiting. I thought, okay, then I would wake, and I thought, okay, they were trying to warn me. This is, was going to happen. So yes, I think this was a timeline I was on. Absolutely. And if I'd stayed on that timeline and not risen and done this, I would have definitely, it was amazing. So I was waiting. I had my wall, and I was like, okay. And I told my friends the next morning, shit, I thought I thought they were warning me. I said, oh my gosh, I saw my own death. And I told my friends, listen, when it's snowing in winter, I'm going to be going. So I said, just check on me. If you don't see me for 2 days or so, because I'm living on my own, you don't want anyone to find anything smelly, Oh, she's been dead for 2 weeks or something. So I told my friends to check. I said, when it's snow on the ground, I'm gone. And so I actually expected. I kept waiting. I thought, oh, whatever. And I just kind of couldn't be bothered now 2 years later. And then I realized further down the line, it was a different timeline. And we're all going to go. Listen, don't get any ideas. No one stays here. You're going to go one day or not, or that. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. They do, yes. They do, yeah. Yeah. So, we're all going to go sooner or later. And don't try and resist it. It's just fear. You attach the body. So I'm still going to go. I didn't go then. You never know. I've had 2 more years than I expected, because I kept thinking, oh my gosh, okay, every winter it was like, all right. You don't, whatever. All I can say, it's not fighting, because you just get this thing, right, it's time. And you just know, okay, that's it, it's time to go home. And there we are. Did you? Okay, cool, yeah. So that made me think actually about that breath. That's what I'm saying. I wonder if it's the heart chakra emptying, because that's where we are. We've got neurons in it. And that noise, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just thinking today that I was putting all the pieces together, listening to Cryon, and then Abraham Hicks saying, you know, when I know dying is not a thing, you know. For me, the most surprising thing is realizing you're not dead, but then then realizing you're looking at your body, and the body is like, but like, but you still. I think you're surprised to find that you retain your thoughts and personality. Like, I'm me, you know what I mean? But that thing is not moving, and then you can just jolt around wherever you want. You stick around for a bit, yeah. They do say that. You do stick around for a bit to watch. I made a whole video about that, and people should stop making it so difficult for people that are leaving the planet. Because we've just been taught, and we fear it, and who are nonsense. No, everyone is, because they're attached to the body too much. But once you're actually going, you don't. Your soul, there's no fear in it themselves. They don't experience it. You don't actually experience it going through it. Yeah, exactly, to the light. Yeah, that's it. That's what we see in our third eye is that bright light, that source. It's energy. You merge back into the one consciousness. Because energy it's just become, you know, there's no body, so you merge with the universe. All it is, all this, you know, it shares a consciousness, one mass. But initially, you still, while your energy is transitioning, as it's getting, you still hang around, and there's no such thing as time, and you check to see, you know, who's at your funeral. That's why I say, and people got to watch, because they don't realize that you listen to everything. You're watching, and people do. I don't know what it is about people, but you do, hey. So just heads up, people do stick around to see, you know, whatever. So don't make it hard for them and cry and carry on and all that nonsense. But I did the same. I didn't know then as well. Yeah. Well, if you've got the spiritual gifts, then you're doing transcendental meditation, because you automatically, everything comes with it. And then with that, you consciously can work with it and communicate. So you just start your meditation process. Once you've given permission or intent to do it, your energy, your source, your inner being takes over, and there's no stopping it then. Once you take that path, there's no stopping the journey. And you also be dragged through that, and the clearing, and the dark night of the soul, and your shadow work, everything. Sooner or later. So if you're trying to hide from it now, you know, the planet's going up, we're going up anyway. There's no need to be, because they're here with you. See, they absolutely, you know what the people say, you feel devastated. You know what the feeling of devastation is? It's because you feel they're here, and you're disconnecting. When you get yourself in a very dark, dense sadness, you don't feel, you're cutting yourself off from, let's say, your soul, source, angels, everything else. That's why you feel horrible, because you're in a negative, because that being is there. You are never alone. They absolutely, the minute you think of them and you speak to them, they're there. So if you get yourself out of grief and sadness, when you raise your frequency, you're able to see them and able to communicate with them. So it's us, what makes us upset is we cutting ourselves off. We get into that misery, deep, dark, that whole thing. We cut ourselves off. That's why we feel so bad from the divine and from everything that's light and wonderful. We can't communicate with them, everything, our inner being, This is exactly why. It's because you start doing what we're doing, you'll be able to communicate. You realize they're not gone, you see, because then you'll be able to tap in. What we do is just miss them being here. But we have no control over, it's their soul, they chose it. There's no accident. They decide to go. We can't control anybody else's journey except for ours. So they chose to go for a reason. Their soul, went now. We have to respect that and we have to honor that. But yeah, it's not easy for the person. We make it difficult because we, miss the actual physical company. But if you do what like this, learn to tap in, You will realize, and you can play games with them then. You know, you can play games with them and ask them to, but you got to raise your frequency and say, hey, you know, just give me a message, and, you know, whether it's a bird or whether whatever, it doesn't matter. You'll know. You'll get all these things, and then you'll know you're not alone, and you never were. But when you, especially, as Abraham says, you cut yourself off from your inner being, you're never happy. That's what negative emotion means. That you're not in a line with how your soul feels. It doesn't have negative, it doesn't see, you know, it's pure positive, as she says, pure positive energy and happiness and joy, and it's high frequency. And all those are, you know, we've got to change the whole way we view death completely. It's the West. We've been taught of it. We've been taught and we fear it, all this nonsense, because as the church, we've been it's completely backward. It makes it so difficult. We need to completely change it. I made a video on YouTube about this. I spoke about it. It's really bad. The way we do death and everything is completely backwards and wrong. Absolutely wrong. It makes it very difficult for anybody who's dying. Because we think of ourselves, oh, we get all upset. And meanwhile, the person's tired or in pain, they just want to go. But they hang around. A lot of people, they just don't want to tell you, look, I'm tired, I want to go. And they suffer because of us. You know, we make a big, oh, no. So the poor person who's dying is all more worried about us than, you know, it's very unfair. And I've been through it with many people, and they've told me as well. And they're like, you know, they just don't have the heart to tell their girlfriend or their wife, look, you know, I actually want to go now, I'm tired. Because they're like, oh, you know, they're trying everything to save you and keep you there. Because we fear it, because we don't understand it. There is no such thing as death anyway. But it will change as we're rising, like all of us. We know this, we're communicating, we understand this, we know who we are. We won't fear anymore, you see. Yeah, exactly. Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing? There's no loss. That's what I'm saying. You see, this is what we say, our loss. It's a very, I know it's a strange way I'm talking to most people, but I'm being honest. It's not a loss. You see, we never lose anybody. And it's the same thing. It's all about us. It's that person. Yeah, we got to look at it from a different angle. They chose to go themselves for a reason, for a higher purpose. You see, it's all about, that's what I'm saying. We're very self-centered. We've been taught, you know what I mean, this. And it's fair. It will change as people change, you know. It's about, as I say, we make it so difficult for the person who, you know, transitioning to. Yeah. Anyway, we'll get out of it. There's many other, say, tribes and people that see, they don't have this problem. They don't have any issue with it. No big drama, sadness, anything. Because it's different culture. They've been taught differently. They don't fear death. They don't have a set. Everyone's party. They're happy. They celebrate. You see, it's just culture nonsense. The West has got, unfortunately, we went. The East is more, they retain their spirituality and this whole thing. The West went completely off track. So we here, this is why we got the most illness, the most problems, the most everything. Pollution, illness, we completely, yes, went off to the very physical, very materialistic, very, funny enough, I don't know who's on here, but I can give you a suggestion. There's one tribe on this planet that never, if you talk about if you go back into the time when humans sort of started off from, say, Lemuria, everyone talks about Lemuria, the beginning times, right? What we were taught then about the heart. And where are we going now? Go and look. There's a tribe. You can find the film still online. I'm very sure it's probably free on YouTube, whatever. They're called the Khoisan. You will find, if you watch that film, you'll be amazed how much similarity. Talk about the heart center to where we're going now. What people talk about 5D. Go and watch this film. It's called The Gods Must Be Crazy. Okay, type in to YouTube somewhere called The Gods Must Be Crazy. That's the name of the film. It was made, I think, in the 70s, possibly, by a man. The Khoisan are a tribe. They live in southern Africa. Indigenous people. They found them in Botswana. Incredible. They are incredible tribe, people. You've got to go and watch this video. You'll be amazed. This is how they lived. They didn't know separation. They shared. There was no such thing as ownership. This is where we're going to, right? This materialistic, mine, property. There was no ownership. It was all about us, community. This is what Lemuria taught. They retained that. Anyway, with smallpox, we annihilated 80% of them. And then they were persecuted by all the other African tribes as they moved from the north down south. Because they're such timid, free, happy, they just didn't understand this. They don't know what hate is. They don't know what property. They were persecuted and driven out, and they haven't got land rights in any country. They've been really very. But there's I don't think, maybe there's about a handful of, a few of them living in the desert are still living in the traditional way. But that film describes them. I mean, it's amazing. If you watch that, they stayed in the heart center always. Talk about chi, talk about life force, talk about in touch. Amazing, unbelievable. Out of all the tribes on earth, all of them, you will not find a more closer example of that. It's incredible. You go back and you think, oh my gosh, yeah. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Talk about connective to spirit, to the, I mean, wow. And happy, always happy. Happy people. Absolutely nothing in the desert. I'm talking about really amazing people. Yeah. The gods must be crazy. It's a beautiful film. Wow. Now that, if you talk about the human heart, love, centered, I mean, it's just an incredible film. Eye-opener. Eye-opener. Eye-opening tribe that it depicts this living from the heart completely in oneness and unity, and incredible, yeah. That they sustained that right throughout, never dropped, and they still thanked. And I know many tribes, many indigenous tribes. I mean, many you can compare them to Aborigines. No one is a better example than this lot. No one has that love, that unity, that happiness, that joy. That just they live that. They lived in this high. It's incredible, amazing, yeah, beautiful, beautiful, pure, clean, yeah. Kind, love. They literally lived in the love frequency. Amazing. Anyway, peoples, the movie, yeah. I don't remember who made the film. South African man. Let me just, while you're here, I'll look it up for you. It makes it easier. How's it? Okay, I'll tell you now. The Gods Must Be Crazy. It was such a beautiful film. I saw it long time ago, people. It was made a lot. It's an old film, but wow, amazing. Amazing, amazing. Hi. Hello, everybody. Okay, let me just check it in. Okay, it's called The Gods. Oh, I tell you, if you haven't seen it, you're going to watch it. Then you'll understand what they were taught to live in the heart center is, and they stayed in that frequency, and it's just incredible, man. Incredible. Incredible, people. God, The Gods Must Be Crazy. 1980, here we are. They're called the Khoisan. Oh, they're incredible people. You'll never met. Well, you got to watch a film and you'll see what they're like. Oh, amazing. It was who made the film? I'm trying to see who made the film. So it's funny. It's meant to be a comedy, but it is so beautiful, and it really depicts their nature. Then you understand what it was like. They couldn't understand nastiness. They just didn't understand separation, ownership, any of this. It was unbelievably. So let me just have a look. I'm going to type in here. I don't know who the director. I can't remember who made it. The producer or whatever. So let me just see now. Yeah, made in the 1980s, a comedy. Jamie Ace was the guy who made it, directed by Jamie Ace. But just type in The Gods Must Be Crazy film, okay? Yeah, incredible, man. All right. And it's a beautiful film, and I tell you what, it will surprise you. as an example of people that stayed all these thousands of years in that where we go, that kept that frequency, vibration, oneness, unity, heart center. Wow, amazing. And just love. They just didn't know anything else besides love. No anger. I mean, such a high frequency. It's incredible. But so isolated, yeah, amazing. Kept away from people, yeah, shame. Anyway, a lot of people were fighting for their rights, but I mean, they don't want land rights, it's just water rights. So go and watch that on the weekend. Do yourselves a favor, go and watch that film. It is spectacular. It's a beautiful film. Yeah, it is beautiful. A laugh, and it is just such a, yeah, amazing example of to humanity. All right, lovely people. So there we are. Interesting times we are living through. Hey, very, 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 yeah, beautiful times, interesting times. Oh, wow. Very happy to be here. So I'm going to be inquiring about that because it made me, oh, you got to watch it, you'll love it. And there's nobody that won't love it. Your kids will love it. It's a family film. It's beautiful. It's such a beautiful thing. Hey, you're welcome. I'm going to go and see, I'm going to inquire about that because I'm going to ask about that, the noise, and if it's the heart, because I mean, I've experienced it and then I've listened to it, you know, whatever, also from all aspects of the death, I should say, but I just don't know the sound. I was trying to figure out what causes the sound, because, you know, it's amazing because the energy is consciousness, right? It's a hell of a force that exits the body. Oh, you're welcome. It's a hell of a force, but where's the force coming from? You see, it's what I'm saying. That's the power of the energy inside your being, which is what you want to call your essence, your life force, your eternal self. That bright Merkaba that you see, that light is so over. There's another thing I saw today in my meditation. Wow, such a powerful light. Such a powerful light, yeah. So we're having there's a hell of a powerful, yeah. We definitely are. The light's increasing you. Wow. We definitely are. So there we are. Anybody else into this stuff, go and ask about the chakras above our heads. I know some of them. You know the names. Not that it's not something that I ever, you know, get into. But I did kind of ask. You know, someone says your soul star, your star chakra. Now that, apparently, what I got when I asked, just curiosity. Ask you, always ask. Don't ask anybody. Don't ask any teachers. Ask within source, because you'll always get the right answer, not what someone thinks or some, you know, been taught to you centuries. Doesn't mean it's right. So what I said was the star. You know what people call the soul star chakra above the head, whatever, the star chakra. That is the first. It's your star. So what do you want to say? Your planet, your star. So when you first decided to jump in a physical body or whatever it is, who knows, I think that's what it is. So when you as a energy decided to choose a vessel, don't know. So that's, I suppose, where you know, originally took form. And then the other one is I was just asking questions about them. What came to me was it the galaxy one, gateway, whatever. That gives you access to the galaxy, to other. It's like a portal, like we said, talk about portals on a planet. Now that's a portal to other galaxies, to other planets, to other star systems, and which some of us have been through. If you've been in your meditations, you've gone through some interesting things to go to other galaxies. Anyway. It's something I will be asking because I've never bothered before, but I'm now sort of digging into it a bit. See if I can learn about any new tools we have, you know, for the new. A lot of people are still thinking, comparing everything, that they're still looking at the past. So where we're going, everyone's trying to compare it to the past. Our ancestors are this or that. Nothing where we're going has anything to do with the past. So we can't compare where we're going to go to Lemuria to this. We're not going backwards. We're going forward. We're not going to repeat Lemuria. You know what I mean? It's not going to be the same. We've got technology. We're not going back to living off the land like primitive people running around with our fingers and, you know, whatever, playing in our tutus. People think they stole old scriptures or old ways of being or old whatever. Nothing. This is a new paradigm, new everything. Even our chakra system will change, our frequency is changing. We cannot compare it to what we had before on the planet because we're not going there. It's new paradigm. So it's nothing we've seen before. It's not, we can't, you know what I mean? It's not going to be identical to, what's the point? Source is not going to, we're not going to go relive Lemuria or relive Atlantis because we've done that. We've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. So we're going on a very different, yeah. Anyway. So be open to the new and ask from within, and don't try and follow old teachings or old ways of being because we're not doing that. See? What you mean the world shifts depending what you're thinking? Just ask. As I say, start your process and you'll know. Doesn't matter. I don't know. I've seen many things. People, there's all kinds of ideas and people's got their own paranoid and stories. So people think the whole earth thing is going to shift. I don't know. I have not got that, not interested to know that the whole poles are going to flip. There's no big catastrophe. That's just shadow. That's shadow. That's fears. That's shadow. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Don't compare to what's happened. Okay. We stop looking behind us. Oh, that's going to happen. That's their shadow. That's the ego. That's a shadow. That's all nonsense. Fear, and that's the lower chakras again. Nope. Remember, you create your own reality. So you do not focus on, you don't want to experience that. There are many versions of Earth. There's not one. So choose one that's not going to annihilate itself. See. But as you work up, you'll realize that. Okay. So there's many different parallel realities, many different versions of Earth, and choose one that's going to have great outcome. See, what you believe, what you think, what you focus on is what you create. You can play out any version you want. Don't play out any of the... Listen to that. Those are people with very dark, dense energies that need their chakras sorted out. That are very... Yes. They need to raise their frequency and vibration. Because you can only see what you can. You see, it depends what level you're at. You're only able to perceive what level you're at and what frequency and vibration you hold. You cannot perceive anything higher if you're not, you just can't. You're not the same frequency. So as you raise your frequency and vibration, you perceive more, and it's not all nasty. When you're down there, it's all ugly and shit and whatever nonsense because you're at that level. It's not, no. That's bloody awesome. But we're not going back to the dark ages and running around in tutus and hunting. No. Those are people and they, and you know, whatever. Some people want to do it. Well, you know what I mean? They want to experience that. They can. So I'm saying you can experience whatever you bloody want. This is, you've got freedom to do what you want. But most people haven't got there, that yet. They haven't figured that one out yet. They're being, anyway, never mind. All right, people, that's enough for the night. It's lovely to see you. You have a wonderful evening. I'll upload this to YouTube and go and watch The Gods Must Be Crazy. Wow, amazing, amazing, amazing. Yeah, what a beautiful example of beings, of living from the heart, in the heart. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. Sweet, it'll change. It's such an amazing, yeah. Oh yeah, you'll love it. Absolutely look it up. The Gods Must Be Crazy, made in the 1980, I think. Oh, I think you can get it free on YouTube on almost everything. It's definitely on YouTube. Oh, you'll absolutely adore it. All right. Have a good evening or morning or afternoon, people. We'll chat again soon. Bye. You're welcome.